just gonna wait for the plane. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a really fun video, and a video that I've actually had in my video list for quite some time. It is groundwork with limited space. So both of my horses are currently in stalls right now. We don't have access to an arena or a round pen, but we do have access to some incredible trails. But I don't always like to do groundwork on the trails, which I could do a video of that, but it's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. So my goal for this was to do 10 exercises, 5 with Blue and 5 with Jezzy. These are more very beginner groundwork exercises that I think are great for stalls. If your horses are a little bit more reactive or new to any of this stuff, I would recommend putting them out in a bigger space so you have some room to kind of do what you need to do. But for the people who are just like me and have limited space, this video is for you. I'm gonna go ahead and get them ready by grooming them really quick and putting on their halters. So I will meet you guys when we are ready to go. All right, let's talk about flexing. So flexing is actually relatively easy to teach your horses and requires little to no space. So this is actually really good for softening your horses, keeping them supple, and asking them to give to pressure. Now with this exercise, I find that some horses kind of go in a circle and some horses will just pull against you, but that's probably about the worst that would happen. So basically what you don't want to do is grab your rope and pull your hand above the horse's wither. You actually want to place your hand on the horse's wither, wait for the horse to give with their nose, and release completely, rub, and repeat. Number 2 on our list is head down. So this one is for those horses that lift their heads like giraffes when you're bridling or haltering them, and I also use this exercise all the time when I'm taking off their halter or putting it on. Again, this exercise is easy. All you have to do is take your thumb and index finger, put it on the horse's poll. The minute they drop their head in the slightest, take your hand away and reward. Number 3 is yielding the hindquarters. So I usually like to grab at least a forearm's length of lead rope. I like to stand 90 degrees to the horse's shoulder, lean forward, and start stepping, asking the horse to yield its hindquarters away from me, making sure that the horse's back leg crosses under and over them instead of side to side, that kind of shuffle that they do. So in the beginning, you can just ask for a few steps and then progressively ask for them to do a full circle, which doesn't take too long to teach, and you really know when you're doing it right when your horse is pivoting on that front foot. Now that you've done the hind end, let's move over to yielding the forequarters, which is moving the horse's shoulder over and away from you. Now, some people find it's easier to do it with their hands or with a whip in their hand. I usually do either one, depending on the horse and how sensitive they are, but basically you're just asking the horse to move their shoulder over, so you want that whatever foot is closest to you to step over in front of them instead of do a shuffle like some horses like to cheat. So once the horse does a step, you just stop and reward. Yes, I am putting a little bit of desensitizing in here, but it's very small desensitizing. So in that manner, I mean, don't go in with a plastic bag or anything that's going to blow your horse up, because that's when you're going to need the most amount of room. So here are a few examples, me just doing like a little bit of flicking, some salt in her eyes, waving my hands around, making noise, clapping, anything you could really think of. But know your horse's tolerance, and if you do need to have more space, definitely be smart and wise about that. Another fun one you could try is swinging the lead rope up and over around the horse's neck. That one is super good for desensitizing and usually doesn't spook them too much. So yeah, enjoy that one. Okay, another desensitizing one is run up and rub. So this one is exactly how it sounds. You take a few steps back, run towards your horse, and rub them. Now, I find that some horses get a little overwhelmed from this one at first, so don't go guns in blazing. If anything, find your horse's favorite spot to be scratched, and that's where you can really rub them. Blue loves his eyes rubbed, so doing this and being nice and patient about it really helps your horse kind of come around and helps them with anything spooky or fast coming at them. Number 7 on our list is sending. So I wanted to add this one to the list because I find it to be quite easy, especially when you're just asking your horse to do it at a walk. Now, if you know horses, you know horses are quite claustrophobic animals and don't like to be in tight spaces, so that is exactly what we're working on here. The concept is you want to ask your horse to go from one side to the other side while going between you and the fence. So if you have a bigger horse, you might want to step off the fence a little bit more, but at the end of the game here, you want to have your horse rest between you and the fence, and that is where you reward and rub them, and I love this exercise. For those of you who are not new to my channel, you guys know I'm obsessed with the backing exercise, and you already knew I had to put this one on the list. Now, for the game of this, you want to be able to get your horse to back up all the way to the end of the fence, rest there for a few minutes, and then ask them to walk back up into your space. This one can be a little bit more complicated for those newer horses that just are sticky backing up or just don't like backing up, so this is something you're going to have to practice at a little bit. You want your relative goal to be for your horse to back up all the way, but in the beginning you can just ask for a step or two by wiggling the rope. Once they step back, you release and reward, and then you'd ask them to come back up into your space and rub them. Alright guys, we are wrapping it up with the last two. So number 9, I'm calling the turnaround. Now, for some people, I know this is not a new exercise for them. They've seen plenty of people do this on the internet or social media, and it's actually a really fun one. So basically, you just put your lead rope on the opposite side of the horse, take one step back, and your horse should do a nice big circle back to you. Now, keep in mind, not all horses are going to do this really calmly. Make sure you're not doing it too low by the horse's legs so they don't get all tangled up. And just be patient and work at this little exercise, but once you get it done, it's actually really fun and cute. And last, but certainly not least, we've got number 10 with changing eyes. So if you've done your homework with moving the horse's forequarters, this actually will come quite easy. You basically take your hand, scoop the horse's chin, and you kind of just want to basically change eyes. I would use this exercise for when you just need to swap over to the other side of the horse and make them do it instead of you. Holy smokes. If you guys have made it this far in the video, thank you so much, and make sure you leave a like, comment down below which one was your favorite exercise, and if you tried them yourselves. And hopefully, I will see you guys in my next video. Peace!